So shifting from a desire to become a don to the professional world of the boardroom is a powerful transformation. Our HR executive and attorney at law, Julian Bowden, knows this all too well. He joins me now to share his story. It's Bowden?
Bowden,
Yeah,
yes.
pronounce it properly. Good morning, welcome.
Thank you, Neville.
What did you see the don doing that you wanted to do?
Well, it was so fascinating. We were at school, and the school said, school is over, everybody have to go home. We went out, there was no bus. The entire town was shut down.
How old were you at the time?
Around 13.
Yeah, okay.
So I didn't know what was happening, but all I saw around me was the entire town shutting down. So we had to walk from North Street to my home, which is Mall Road, and that walk, every single where, there was tires burning, there was just chaos.
And you didn't know what was going on?
I didn't know what was happening. There was no social media, nothing. When I got home, I was watching the news, and I saw a particular individual calming the crowd. He was on a police balcony in a police station, and he was saying, guys, I soon come home, don't worry.
Because he was arrested?
He was arrested. I'm like, who is this man? First I heard about this man, or see this man. Then I realized this man was an enforcer.
The don.
The don. And I'm saying, wow, this is the power that I want to yield, you know? This is interesting. The entire Kingston.
Locked down because of this man.
Because of this one man. And the guy just looked so simple. I'm like, okay. So I went home and started doing a lot of research. And
research on what?
On the individual and the power and his influence. And it was so fascinating. At that time, too, you're young, you're discovering yourself. And the contrary thing about it is that I grew up in a very well-established home. You know, I had my grandmother as the matriarch, I had my parents, working parents, providing for you. So I had no interest there was no setting of the scene for that sort of interest whatsoever. But then this one episode, you know, ventured me into a path where I said, okay, this looks like something I'd want to explore some more.
How long you stayed on that path?
I would say maybe all of high school, the rest of high school. Sometimes when you're in high school and the administrator is trying to discourage you, they discourage you by encouraging you. So they will see you do certain things and act out a certain way. They say, oh, you're going to be a little done when you grow up or when you leave school. I'm going to read about you being killed by the police. That's the other thing. And it was trying to discourage you, but it was really encouraging that. So
what did Granny say all this time when you're going like you're a bad man?
Why? My grandmother was an interesting character because she was instilling some very values, strong principles, biblical principles. So,
but you never want to hear them today.
At the time, no. That was boring. You know, that was my grandma saying what she needs to say.
Yeah.
But she was very adamant that, you know, like she would say to me all the time, listen, your head big enough, so you need to make sure so your head don't big for nothing. You know, so she will always be encouraging you to go to school.
That's Granny right there.
That's grandma, yeah. Gwenny, we call her, affectionately call her Gwenny.
Yeah.
She was always big on, you know, getting an education and get it out and becoming somebody.
When did it hit you that, no man, she right, that's not where I should be going? And did you want to change or just because when you did a push you say, I better change or I'm going to beat up? Did you want to change?
I mean, I wasn't interested in changing at the time, but, you know, circumstances happened at home. You know, myself and my cousin, we got involved in certain things, and my grandmother was very curious. She recognized the behavior pattern had changed. She recognized that we were doing things that were suspicious. And one day we were at school, she digged down the entire space and she recognized there was a particular activity happening. And she got my dad involved. And the both of them, you know, them querulous. And they recognized what was happening, and my dad intervened and corrected the situation.
You don't have to tell me, but can you tell me what it was? Or you don't want to?
Yeah, we had an illegal gun. So it was an interesting thing. Myself and my cousin, we were nursing it, as they would say, or we were gun bags at the time. We didn't know what we were doing, we just had it. And the reality of the situation is that my dad intervened. But then what happened transpired after that, it was what really gave me the opportunity to say, Jordan, you need to change. Because I saw tears of disappointment. You know, I saw not only my dad crying at the time, and it wasn't a usual cry, because he's a cry, he cried for everything. But he was crying differently this time. It was like, yo, my son, I can't believe my son, after creating so many different opportunities. Because it's around there, you know, because where I grew up, you had a done on every corner, that type of thing. but they were making it different for
By the way,
us.
what kind of student were you? Not talking about behavior now, talking about...
I was an above average student.
oh, you were?
Yeah.
Even while that
Even
was
while I was happening.
Okay.
I'll tell you a story. One time I had a serious incident while I was going to KC, and the board, I had to go to the board for disciplinary reasons, and the board chairman said, listen, it's because of your grades why you're still going to be here.
Okay.
So
So you were a good student?
I was a good student.
But you did kind of...
But I was stuck in the badness, as they would say at that time. A young boy, discovering self, following crowd, leading crowd at some point. So it was a different journey. But I saw the tears of disappointment from my grandmother and also from my father. And that was the point that said, Jordan, this is not you.
How old were you then?
About 14, 15.
So you never stayed in the badness for too long?
Never stayed there too long. So,
yeah.
But despite that scenario, at school, I was more on the serious side, the more, enforced that type of way.
Yeah.
So if you talk to some of my colleagues from KC...
You go bad up a guy.
Yeah, a guy I get bad up. Or if I go out on the streets and there's a little thief between us and George's, Jordan going to be involved somewhere playing a role. But I wanted different, and there's something that my father used to always tell me in the Bible, what my name meant from a 12-tribe standpoint.
What it mean?
My affectionate name is Asher because of December.
Yeah.
And so it means, your bread shall be fat and you should be prosperous.
Yep.
So I always want to do that.
Apart from what you're doing now, because you're into law, and I'll ask you why, but do you still have that kind of, if a guy chub you, I mean, I'm not talking about it in a bad way, but you still have that if a guy chub you, you got to make him know, say, no, you're not soft as, yeah.
No. I mean, it's much different now. You grow up, you have a family now, so there are things that you won't take for granted anymore. You're more interested in making sure that your family have a decent life and they're safe. And at the day, I'm living a good life. I've been blessed. My grandmother, prayers, my parents' support have really helped me to, further my career and growth. And so it's really safeguarding that.
Why law?
I mean, law was a passion that my grandmother instilled in me. So my grandmother was a very passionate, Michael manly, Norman manly person. So she would say, I see this in you. So she would always say, pursue this because this is what these great
Because of what we are talking about, is criminal law?
No, I stayed far from that. In fact, I failed criminal law when I did it.
You failed criminal law?
I was wondering, what is this about?
So what kind of law?
No, it's more commercial and labor law that I focus on.
But because of what went on, you wanted to do criminal law? No.
That was the interest. You saw what was happening in Matlock and you saw some of these things and you say, yeah, this is something that I could pursue.
Yep.
But yeah.
Janon, you're still a very young person. We have to go. Just look in that camera and tell the youth how them to deal with things.
Well, I would say first and foremost, if you're having a difficulty, seek help. Your parents can help you, seek somebody who you trust and can advise you. Because it's never the worst moment. You may be going through the worst moment, but it's never the worst moment. It's all needs sometimes a conversation, a step back, a slow down. So that decision you're planning to make or you want to make at this moment, stop and think about it for maybe 5 minutes, discuss it with somebody, and get a different perspective. I mean, if I had done that many years ago, I wouldn't be, in that illegal scenario. And, it helps to redirect, your path and also help you to focus on what is important, which is to growing up to be a productive individual.
Yeah. Because of where you come from, I know who the Don is. Did you ever meet him?
I never met him.
Okay. All right. Good enough. Good to see you.
Very good.
Good to see you.
Yeah,
I'm impressed. I'm impressed. Very, very inspired. Thank you very much. You should have on the other side of our street, but that's up. Could have worse. You could be on another street. Exactly. HR executive and attorney at law, Jordan Bowden. All right, after the break, we find out what's causing the deadly traffic light attacks in the corporate area. Stay with us, please. Soon come.